also kept up from the street for sterilized, lobotomized, left in a carini. Cause the things you say and do tell me your brain cells off a few, and that is why I hate you.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody! Gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble that cob. I don't know.
And that is why I hate you.
We've gone for who knows how long, have not really spoken in such a really long time.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. That was
And
rude.
that's the introduction.
There's nothing wrong with gobbling cock.
Nothing.
Actually,
you know what? No. There's something wrong every time if it's a surprise, and that was a surprise for me.
Well, surprise cock goblin's probably not fun. Last night I was playing. All right, so nobody cares. The new NHL 24 is so fucking bad that I returned it. But I pulled out. I was like, let me try NHL 23 and see if anybody's still playing. I played a game last night, and this guy, I wasn't even chirping him because I didn't feel like I wasn't even saying anything. And like I scored a goal and he got on. He's like, well, it's fucking bullshit, baby. And I was like, what? Oh, I did a wraparound goal. And he's like, it's bullshit. And then he started calling me a faggot and stuff. And I was like, I am for you, big boy. And he started getting so uncomfortable. And I was like, how big is it? Come on. How big is it? I was like, you got to let me be on the top. And he just kept
so
going,
good.
Shut up, faggot. Shut up, faggot. He got so bad.
You could destroy so much power with
great.
that shit.
Dude, it was so good. I was like, why haven't I thought of this before? He immediately starts in with the gay slurs, and I just leaned into it.
Like,
he wasn't happy.
You know what? That's something like I believe at least sassier gay men already discovered that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just fucking lean into a homophobe, like acting that, as long as they don't have a gun.
Well, when you're actually a gay person, I'm sure you encounter a lot of slurs on a regular basis, especially depending on when you came out. If you came out in the 90s, I'm sure you encountered them all the time. So I'm sure you got to the point where you're like, you know what? Let me just lead into it. But I don't know.
Let's fuck funny with them. That's it. It's enough.
Yeah, I was like, fine.
Speaking of, I saw something today in YouTube Shorts that fucking killed me. So apparently, this controversy in the bodybuilding community, there was this pose called the moon pose that was based off of like yoga, and essentially the bodybuilder, if they worked really hard on their legs, they would literally bend over for the judge to judge their legs, and obviously we can tell. The moon pose, right?
Yeah.
Bodybuilder sense of humor. That just makes sense to call it that.
Yeah, it does.
And they banned it because it was too gay. What? Bodybuilding.
Well, I don't understand. The whole point is to critique and look at the muscles.
The muscles. But it was just like, it's just too. Is too inappropriate for them to like. They're wearing like a thong, and it's like yes,
yeah, okay, but if you can separate yourself from the sexuality and the sport,
but they can't. Here's the thing: I feel like at least male, like a lot of people who are into bodybuilding, and this is not offense to anybody who is heterosexual, wherever they are on the spectrum.
We talking about gym bros.
Oh my god. This is
I can see that with gym bros. Be like, yo, stop looking at my ass, bro.
But no.
But I'm supposed to. This is the whole
closeted. They measure the muscles. You have to be oiled. You have you're wearing a banana hammock. I have a brother-in-law who bodybuilds.
Oh, really?
It is the weirdest fucking thing.
I'm
like, bro, I like you, but I can't ask you. I can't go to any of these. I cannot. No, it's too uncomfortable for me.
I was gonna say I had a friend that he didn't do bodybuilding. He did weight. He was a weightlifter, so it's not the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
and it has. He weightlifts too, but it has nothing to do really with like everyone else. It's just I don't want to see him like that.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. A little weird. I don't want to see anybody that I am on a regular, talking to or seeing basis in very little clothing. It's just awkward.
Look, and there's people like, well, what's wrong with that? I was like, well, would you ever want to like walk around with the knowledge? Okay, the very first time you caught your parents fucking.
I don't think I ever did. I hope I never did.
Lucky you.
Unless I blocked my brain might have blocked it out. I don't know.
But that's the thing. It is a traumatic event, no matter how old you are.
Sure.
To see your parents fuck.
Oh yeah,
That is the same line I have with seeing shit like that.
no, that makes
But
sense to me.
for those judges, you literally go into a profession where you're judging a human body
Yeah, I mean that's the
that's
point.
basically naked to see like how they can
You
mold
have
their
to
muscles to be
you,
symmetrical and
you've decided to make
like,
this your job or
yes.
your position.
So how is bending over to get the maximum stretch of the muscle? The butt, they have to clench their butt cheeks. That is an actual thing they do. So what do you mean to tell me that it's too gay for them to bend up? Is it just like, do you think you're just going to jump over the desk hard as a fucking rocket and just plunge right into that muscly ass?
I can't stay away from that starfish. I have a question though. Hold on. Now, is that exactly what they said? It's too gay, or did they say like it's inappropriate?
I'm summarizing it, but they're saying it was too lewd. It is crass and lewd.
Okay,
because of how classy.
Be pretty damn funny if they're like, we can't. You know what? This is too gay. We can't do it anymore.
I saw the pictures. It literally looked like another weird pose that they would do, and I was more so astounded by literally how many muscles are in the leg.
I don't like. See, here's where I don't get it. Unless, and again, I don't know if you were alluding to this before. Unless maybe the judges or the if maybe the judge or if the competitor are gay, then I guess there could be some sexual tension involved, and that could make it lewd. But if it's just two heterosexual guys, where's the lewdness? It doesn't matter.
But I don't. Okay, I'm going to show you a picture, and I know pictures in a podcast, right?
Yeah, nothing better for an audio podcast than a picture.
Your reaction is actually what matters, because you're on the fucking internet listening to this. You have Google.
Yeah.
Look up moon pose. But, oh man, fucking of course.
It's really bright. Yeah.
Brightness, you
it's too
fucker.
Bright.
Yeah.
I can't see it.
It's a moon. It's a full moon. It's so bright.
It looks like they're just getting ready to take it.
Okay, maybe I'm just not bothered by it.
No, it doesn't bother me at all. It's just funny. It's just funny.
It is very funny. But I saw that was like
it looked like a fucking turkey.
My thought was just like, that sounds like whoever banned it, who set the ban, was like, that sounds like a you problem.
Absolutely. Whatever.
Some people were joking that it was the guys who really banned it are the people who don't do leg day.
Yeah,
like those are the guys, and it's a psyop.
I apologize for any coughing, folks. I'm getting over being sick still. Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that's it. Yeah, I don't know. But get rid of that guy. Get rid of that guy. Get rid of the guy that has a problem with it. I guess it had to be a consensus, right? No, it could have been one. Well, nowadays, one person's all it takes, right?
Well, with people who like make rules like that, it always like stinks of like that closeted politician who gets caught like doing gay shit.
Yeah,
it's
like all of them.
Just like they're either doing some gay shit or they're getting prostitutes.
Yeah,
cracking down on prostitutes,
grooming young kids. Not young, but like 16, 17-year-old.
Yeah, young enough to be illegal.
Yeah, young enough where it's like it's creepy. When you're like a 48-year-old politician or older.
Yeah, that shit, like, and it's always them. It's always that type of person, and they always talk about, well, this is indecent or some shit like that.
Oh, of course. Oh, they're always the ones out there talking about this book needs to be taken out of kids' libraries because it's indecent. Meanwhile, they're like after school they get the 16-year-old and fuck them in the back of their car.
Yeah, you're just jerking off their partners in public. Yet.
So I got this book here banned today, and there's some things in it I want to try.
You see on page 35.
On page 35 here, you see how she's got her leg up over her neck, can you you're pretty young, you're on the cheerleading team, right? You could probably do that, right? Fuckers, bunch of fuckers. Speaking of, okay, back to before we were talking about the congressman fighting with the teamster. Dude, that was the greatest thing. I think. It's a joke. So okay, the history of the trolling. So tell me a little history of the trolling here.
All right, so anytime the politics, I can't remember. I don't know their names. I don't remember.
Who
their
gives a
names.
fuck? They're a
But
fucking
there's
joke.
the union guy and the politician,
Right.
and the politician
Congressman.
is kind of a chode. From what I heard,
He certainly seems
he's
to be.
making really dumb like policies and just says really dumb shit. But he's known for trying to be a tough guy online. So
Who doesn't love a online keyboard tough guy?
yeah, and the union guy apparently for months or maybe even years have been trying to get him to pass a certain policy,
Okay.
and the guy was just being such a dick, and they have a history of not liking each other anyway.
Right.
So the union guy just starts trolling him on any post he makes.
Is this all still on Twitter, X, whatever the fuck's called now?
Yeah, I believe it's still on Twitter.
I'm gonna have to go
You have
through
to
these.
look it up because I've seen some stuff on it. It might be gone after the. No, I think this is the second time that they like stood up at each other.
I got to go through and read through some of these.
So the union rep was just like I think it's like the day before that meeting, which is like, I know where you live. You bring it on. I'm right here. You know where I'm at. I know where you're at. We can do this. Like, it's just.
And they literally the next day had a congressional meeting together. And I saw the clip I saw. He was just like, "Well, we're both here right now. Let's settle this." The congressman said,
the Congress rep was supposed to be like talking to him about the policies. But
Sure.
He just could not help himself.
because that's their fucking job.
Yes, but he couldn't help himself but bring up.
It's like, I'm right here. You're right here. Let's settle this.
And it just seemed like the union rep took any opportunity he could to make him look like an idiot.
Yeah, he was like, the union rep was like, okay, and he's like, you get your butt up.
You get your butt up.
He said butt, which made it even better.
I forgot. The funniest part was that the union rep, not the union rep, I keep saying union rep. The politician is about my height.
Yeah.
Okay,
I saw that.
I think I'm a little taller than him. I think
that's right, because
he's really short.
The Teamster had trolled him on Twitter showing he was standing on a box at a debate.
Exactly. Because he's tiny.
He's
shorter than me, actually.
For a Teamster, okay, and I think they said he's a 4th generation Boston Teamster, who I don't know why you'd fuck with one of those guys.
Yeah.
But his troll game is on point.
So
on top of clearly being a badass dude, you know?
Like,
and then you hear, and then all you hear is Bernie chiming in. Guys, come on, we're congressmen here. What are you doing? Settle down. No, we're here to talk about the issues. What are you doing?
That's really good, Bernie. I kind of feel bad for Bernie because he's at that age. He's been at that age for years, where like his brain should be going.
Yeah,
and he's seeing everyone else. So I can only imagine someone his age just thinking that, oh no, I'm crazy because. There's no way this is really happening.
I know, right? Well,
like,
and he's been around.
Conversation, and I have dementia.
He's been around for maybe he's been around for so long. I mean, he's got to remember back when, everyone was super civil to each other and they wore suits and everybody talked nice and they obeyed the rules.
Bullshitted, but kept it quiet. Like
you didn't have like Marjorie Taylor Greene calling Boebert a whore and like people hitting each other and. Oh my God.
He knew the time before the circus came to town. Not saying things were better, but they were at least way less chaotic.
I mean, I guess it's not like I was on the Senate floor ever. I'm just going based on the way the world is in general. Things were not nearly as chaotic as they were, 20 years ago as they are now.
Yeah, I feel like we have way too much information way too fast for us to process it, and we just keep going.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, I don't even know where to go. I keep seeing it's like I keep seeing like I don't want to get into any of the Israel Hamas stuff because you know what? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know enough. I'm not an expert enough to even comment
either way
on
to know who the good guy or bad guy or if there is one. But I just saw kids are dying. That's the only fucking thing I know. And
kids, women, and children are dying. Yep, that's always wrong. Always. So I'm not qualified to comment on any of it. But I know I saw. I think last night. It was this morning or last night. I saw. I can't remember her name now. She's one of she was in the last Scream movie. Did you see that? She posted some pro Hamas something
Oh yeah, I
on
think I
X,
remember. Okay, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
she got dropped from
She's
the
one of
movie.
the very few very many celebrities that say something.
Yeah, I mean all the
And
my
like,
dog is going
yeah,
nuts today. Sorry. I mean a lot of celebrities are posting pro Palestine, I'm not gonna say pro
yeah,
Hamas
I
or terrorist
no,
group, but pro Palestine stuff because
it,
that's the left's thing to do. Which I always find
yeah.
funny though. The Jewish people who are on the left support Israel because they have to. I always find that funny.
Look,
But
here's the thing. Here's the crazy shit. We are not over there. You don't have to.
no, we shouldn't be over
You
there.
may have
Nobody
beliefs.
should. We
You can
shouldn't.
may
It has
have
nothing to do with us.
beliefs. Yeah, you have beliefs. You can believe that one side is better for that part of the world, but
Sure.
that's not your war. And now
Right.
you're extending that war to over here because
Sure.
we as Americans just unless
Like
we don't know how to
we don't
not
have enough shit
fuck with everybody else's
going on. Like we're already arguing about. We don't have enough
like
shit to argue about.
we haven't determined if gender is an okay thing. We haven't figured out the bathroom thing. We haven't figured out race. We haven't figured out our economy.
We haven't figured out abortion 50 years after the fact. I mean,
like we thought we did, and then we didn't. We haven't figured out corruption. We haven't figured out anything here. But no, we're too busy with shit over there.
I know. There's so many goddamn things that are just
healthcare is
so
a
fucked
fucking
up.
mess.
Oh, healthcare! Don't get me started.
I haven't figured any of that out.
I just got a note from my insurance carrier. The migraine injectable medication I take every month. They decide as of January they're not going to cover that one. I have to take one of the alternatives because there's like 3 or 4, and the other ones
just put another chemical in your body.
I tried one of the other ones and it gave me health issues. So they're like, you can't take the one that your doctor says is okay for you to take that is okay and doesn't give you side effects. You have to take the one that gives you side effects now because we say so. And I literally just had a conversation with my doctor. I just had an appointment where I was talking about this, and there's now a class action lawsuit going on against, I think, United Healthcare that apparently they are using AI to decide insurance claims. And I don't know if this is ongoing or if this is recent with the explosion of AI in the last year. So I don't know if it's new. The class action lawsuit claims that in 90% of the cases, the AI had it wrong. As far as whether or not the drug was appropriate.
All it takes is 1, 0, or 1 being in the wrong place. And it fucks up the whole system.
I have talked many times about how fucking stupid it is that my doctor that I go to see that knows me, does test results on me, talks to me, and says this is the medication you could take. And then some dipshit at an insurance company can go, no, we don't think you should take that. That alone is the dumbest fucking thing in the world. But the idea that they have an AI making that decision is even stupider.
And you know what's even greater about that? You gave them way too much credit by saying he shouldn't take that. No, it's number 162533 doesn't need this medication.
Oh, yes, you're absolutely right.
They don't meet the requirements.
He told me that, and my mind almost exploded. I mean, I think my face turned red because I was going to go into a rage, and I was like, let me not go into a rage when I'm on a call with my neurologist here. But the fact that, like I said, it's bad enough that I thought that they had people making these decisions, but now they have a robot AI deciding whether or not a drug is appropriate rather than the fucking doctor. I have to get.
I'm sorry.
I have to sometimes get a prior authorization. Have you ever had to do that?
Yes.
Where a doctor sends in a prescription for me saying he needs this medication. The pharmacy then has to contact the insurance company. The insurance company says, oh, no, you have to get a note from the doctor that says he's supposed to take this medication. He sent the fucking prescription in already. Why does he have to then send another note to confirm that I'm supposed to take the medication?
That you're supposed to take it.
What the fuck is that?
Because it feels like they're conflating the rule that they started doing when codeine became a thing, where a doctor has to prescribe the note specifically, like with their signature and everything, because people would make would forge doctor's notes, and forge prescriptions. This is something I learned when I was working as a pharmaceutical tech.
Okay,
but it seems like it's conflating that because it's supposed to be all direct, right? It's not like you are handing it in to them, right?
Right. Yep.
So
in this case,
then you don't need. Then that step wouldn't have been needed because it's going directly into them.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They want to make sure it's not a fake prescription that was handwritten. Yeah, I have got an electronic prescription being e-signed and sent from my doctor to the pharmacy, and I've gone to pick up a prescription for it, and they go, we can't fill it yet. We're still waiting for the prior authorization to come back from the doctor.
Yep.
What? I called this prescription in a week ago, and you can't fill it because the insurance company wants another note saying I'm allowed to take this medication?
Yes.
Go fuck yourself. Like, go fuck yourself.
Oh my God, you just reminded me. We had this one person come in while I was working as a tech, and I feel like such an ass with this one, but I didn't do anything wrong, but I still feel bad.
Yeah.
Because they had a prescription for a pretty much, I think it was like Oxycontin or something like that.
Right. Yep.
And,
some sort of controlled substance.
We need the pharmacist to sign it in.
Sure.
And the guy came up to me and he gave me his license, and the license was a woman.
Oh boy. And what did you do?
And we don't have any rules telling us, like, we have to, if it's a controlled substance, we need to verify their identity.
Which is funny because
doctor.
We've talked about, I don't know if I talked on podcast, but I take oxycodone. I've taken it for 20 years for migraines.
You know what? When I found out we were having an offline conversation.
Yeah, which was, I couldn't believe it wasn't something you knew about.
Yeah.
But I've had my wife pick it up for me before. So
yeah.
Anyway.
They had me do that, and I felt like an ass because I had to do a verification because, like, you don't look like you don't have the same. First, was
it a trans person?
The name. It was a trans person.
Okay, all right. So that's the explanation.
And it makes perfect sense. But I guess they were still in the process and going through the red tape of it.
Well, you didn't do anything wrong. You were trying to follow the law.
The system fucked it up because we had to then ask the doctor. Then I had to, like, verify it with them because the person's name, like, their partner that they were with, their wife or girlfriend, whoever they were with, was saying, like, a male's name, but the license had, like, all the information was still female information.
Right.
And I was just like, I felt like an ass because I didn't know how to handle that.
But that's not your fault. It's
now imagine if that was an AI.
It would have been completely broken.
Like,
Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah,
like, they're trying to automate it. And the worst part about the AI thing, because back out of that memory that I was going to mention before about, them having the insurance dealing with AI, is that means nobody's going to double check it because they're not going to hire anybody to double check it.
No, of course not. No.
It's just going to be, oh, okay, that's the report. Good. Like, that's it. They don't give a shit.
Entirely reliant on the AI. Abso-fucking-lutely.
And so oh God.
Yeah, it's the healthcare system's a mess in general. I mean, it's just the amount of doctors I've seen in the last 3, 4, 5, 6 months now, and just trying to get appointments. I was seeing a rheumatologist, wasn't really happy with the way that was going. Wanted to get in with this one that everybody recommended. I called in September. I will finally get to see her in January.
Jeez, and that's like with the preliminary visit. That's the very
that's just the first visit.
You're not going to get anything done.
No, probably not. I mean, I've been fortunate where since I started eating better and I've lost a lot of weight, it really did help with the inflammation issues I've been having. Sugar and carbs are particularly bad for causing inflammation. So cutting that stuff out really helped. And I didn't like slip like down all the way down, but I was like, kind of here and there being like,
you're getting more lax.
Yeah, I'll put a little sugar in this cup of tea. I was getting a little more lax, and about a week ago, it started all coming back again, got really bad again. And I was like, oh, I guess I can't do that. So, at least I've had some relief there, but the idea that that was just something I was like, I guess I'll try this on my own. Didn't have any doctor support. I mean, my guy, one of my doctors recommended losing a little weight just in general for other things, but
and now imagine having to add, and this is why I don't understand society. I've realized over this little bit of this amount of time, I don't understand people, because now adding on top of that, if you have to be part of, you have to either be part of red team or blue team, green team or cyan team, magenta team or chartreuse team. Like, you're now bouncing around, having to be on the right side of history in every direction because you're going to just fucking make enemies.
Yeah, we're going to get into that hardcore in our topic when we get to that. But yeah, it's just,
just on top of that.
It's so tough. And you know what makes it worse? People like I hate mentioning him, but people like Tim Pool, people like Sam Cedar, who does the majority report, are just like they're fanning the flames. And whenever I listen to anything they say, because I like diverse opinions, I really do.
Yeah.
I like hearing different opinions than my own. I like hearing contrary opinions just to different people.
Yeah.
But they talk about this like it's the culture war stuff, like it's a war, like it's us and them. And I hate it's such an inflammatory way to talk when you talk about Tim Pool. The last time I listened to a clip of him, he was saying something like, "We're winning this war. We're winning." Like you realize just those words saying we, you're separating yourself into this group. Instead of considering everybody to be a community, we're all a nation. We're all a nation.
Fucking, yep.
Instead of saying we're winning, those of us that believe in this particular thing are getting our message out. Like you could say it that way, right? Those of us believe that free speech is under attack. We feel that we're getting our message out. Nope, we're winning this war. We're winning this war. Blah blah. Fuck you. You want to act like you're here to try to help and make things better. You're fanning the flames. You're making it worse.
You live in your own fucking bubble, safe away from all that bullshit. And that's
fuck
the
yourself.
sad thing. That is the saddest fucking thing about it.
Yeah.
I saw this video about people insular that are online. Another video. There was this half black, half Japanese girl. And they apparently it's like on the street interview, which I don't believe is really an on the street interview. But she's standing there talking about how she is black and Japanese, and she prefers living in Japan because she got bullied more in America than in Japan. And what I'm not even trying to like downplay her life because I don't know her. It was like a 15-second, 30-second clip.
Right. And
people are like, man, she's so sweet and wonderful. And one person goes, why is she holding a watermelon?
Okay.
And she was holding like a half-eaten watermelon, like up into the camera.
Okay.
And I was like, that just feels weird. Like before you film, would you ask her to finish it? Because not the comment, the fact that it was in the screen, because the internet, how people are going to think. And it just takes one person bringing it up to create the discourse. And so I started thinking maybe they filmed that purposefully because the topic was the fact that she's half black.
Okay.
That is the fucking topic.
All right, maybe.
She is biracial, and that is an anomaly to see.
Right.
And so it's kind of like not freak show, but like it's to see like my children who are biracial, white, black is way more common, than to see a half black, half Japanese,
I get what you're going.
Half Asian person.
I mean, I was going to defend her and just say like it shouldn't be her responsibility to have to think of that ahead of time before she makes her content. But
it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
If it's intentional,
I'm not putting it on her. I'm putting it on the people who filmed her. Because they're YouTube clout people. Because they wouldn't have gone up to her if she was just some girl.
This is why I don't read comments. Like I was doom scrolling.
I'm addicted. It's my
no.
I hate myself for it. To be honest,
I mean, I do the same thing you do, scrolling through YouTube or TikTok or Instagram Reels. God, you maybe start watching Instagram Reels more, and I found that Instagram Reels are typically just way better. They're just funny.
They used to be way worse, which is funny.
Well,
I've talked awful.
I've talked so many times about how on YouTube it's just always like something inflammatory or something that's made to get me mad or whatever. Mm-hmm. I've always found TikTok to just be the same things that have no interest to me. Like I've mentioned before, Instagram, I feel like most of the reels in my feed are just funny shit. But I was watching a bunch last night and there was four black dudes putting, those ones where they put the rubber bands around the watermelon until it explodes.
I think those are so stupid.
Oh, they're stupid. But I was watching that and nothing came to my mind. I didn't think like, oh, haha, it's four black guys in a watermelon. Didn't even come to my mind. But I didn't read the comments section.
They do that specifically for that reason.
Well, that's like now that you mention it.
Yeah.
Now that you mention it, I want to go back and look at the comments and say, did they do that intentionally?
And that's kind of weaponizing it, but yes, that's essentially what it is. So that is always going to be there. So why even do it? So I felt like it was a prop, and I could be wrong, but ultimately I feel like it was a prop. So I made a comment because that's what I do, and I said,
I trust your judgment.
And I said, you know, I know people are defending the watermelon thing, but there's no reason for her to have it in the interview because everyone knows what it insinuates. Now,
Sure.
mind you, I purposefully have my avatar as a white anime character.
You do,
One,
yeah.
One, because I think the character is actually not even really an anime character. He's a character from a really terrible video game. And I just think it's funny because that also plays into my character's name, Fifth Dog, because the game says the character has 5 dogs, but there's only 4. So he's the 5th dog.
You're the 5th dog.
So that was the joke, right?
Uh-huh.
So somebody replied to me specifically, like within seconds. It was like, it insinuates nothing. Every white person I know loves watermelon. As far as stereotypes go, it's dumb as fuck. I agree with this person on that. But I also reply...
That wasn't your point, though.
Yeah. I reply, anecdotal. Everybody I know loves watermelon. It doesn't stop stereotypes from being used.
Right.
Especially on the internet, and more specifically, YouTube, creating high levels of discourse over something silly. All I'm saying is the watermelon was unnecessary to be in the shot. They could have said, like, you know, hey, can we interview you? Do you mind? It was a small piece of watermelon. Like, could you just eat that? I know. Could we sit at this bench or put it down?
Put it down for a second.
Let's just do something with it. I have a friend who will hold it. He has gloves. Like, we could have figured something out because her race is the topic. Her race being insinuated, it will only distract to have that there. So even if that wasn't their point, it will still cause this conversation to happen because I'm saying it under a comment where somebody says, not the watermelon, yo. That's where my comment was under.
Right.
And there's multiple comments as you go down, not only under this thread, that bring that shit up, which distracts from the point that they're trying to make. But it also strengthens them saying America's racist. Like, yeah, we fucking already know that. We have a million reminders as to America being racist. And you can't say Japan's not racist because there's no black people. There's a black guy who's a teacher who has a blog about being black in Japan. Japan thinks he's like a cartoon character.
Well, but I mean, our country is very unique in that we're such a non-homogenous group where almost every other country is very homogenous. Which is funny.
I'm not saying it's wrong.
Which cracks me up because you would think that because we're such a diverse country, we would be less racist. And you'd think that those other countries would be way more racist, but
we're also a capitalistic hegemony.
This is true.
We have to do something gets people to go into things. So shock, outrage, discourse all keeps the pot churning and everybody is swirling around. But guess what? It's mixing oil and water all the time.
You know, it's all
we're not mixing oil and oil. We're mixing oil and water.
I wish the internet would go away. I wish we should just get rid of the internet.
Like, you know what? It would be great if just make it was like Cyberpunk Red.
No, the internet.
I know you might not be familiar with it.
I don't think I'm specifically. My example is going to be, it should be like when you go to a public library. You can just...
that's what...
You can access resources and information. That's it. Nothing else.
Okay, so in Cyberpunk Red, the world essentially is the internet exists in pockets. So if there's a server nearby, there is internet. Okay. Outside of that server's range, there is no more internet.
So it's one singular server.
Or it's a different type of internet. Well, there's multiple versions of them, and they're not connected to one another.
Okay, so they're all just standalone servers. Like,
there's
oh my god, you know what? We used to have that. It was called a bulletin board system.
Yes,
we used to have that. Jesus fucking Christ.
Fucking BBS. So yeah, but before so I can end this. So people are, arguing up and down. They're saying I'm wrong or I'm right or like, it's stupid, which I imagine a lot of them are just like, white people who don't see race, quote unquote, and younger people. And somebody replied to me saying, I noticed it as soon as she mentioned bullying. Seems it was still happening in the setup. Unnecessary prop for this interview, a quote unquote interview, because they don't believe it's real. And I'm like, here's my thing. Me as my anecdotal evidence, since we're all basing it off of that, I went to a monoracial culture. I went to the Philippines, an Asian monoracial culture, as a black guy.
Right.
Guess what every stereotype they had for me is? They always wanted me to eat fried chicken.
Yeah, figures. Yeah.
because they just assumed that that's what I would eat. They were very nice.
Was it in a racist way,
always-
or they just knew the stereotype and thought it was true?
They just assumed.
Got it.
They assumed the stereotype. They were all, again, very nice. And I know adobo chicken is a big thing there, but they make fried chicken specifically for me, or try to say, "Oh, we saved this watermelon for you," or like,
Hey, buddy, I don't
this
know what
shit-
Filipino cuisine is like, so maybe it was a good thing.
No,
Do they have good food?
This joke about like Filipinos are like the black people of Asians, and there's a little bit of truth to that stereotypical joke.
Yeah,
I mean, they are their own people. I love the Philippines, but I still put up with a lot of like racist shit. But it wasn't like American racism. It was more like I'm okay with somebody being racist out of genuine like unknowing.
Right,
like,
less malintention, like, just more ignorance. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a difference between like same family, the grandmother and the mother. The mother was just like, oh, what kind of food do you like? Or we're making chicken tonight. You want to come over? Yeah. That's racist, but I'm not mad at it. As opposed to the grandmother in that same family that went, hey, do you know that your friend is black? Like the same, like you see what I'm saying? Like,
what kind of question is that?
She asked. What? I think she might have been going blind. I was in high school at the time. Yeah, that's what he said. I heard him say that to his grandmother. He is. But like there's two different, and I mean two women that have a racist thing to them, but one is like trying to be accommodating because they don't know, and the other one's being kind of terrible with their racism.
Yeah, that's my wife. What are you doing, wife?
Okay.
Hi, wife.
You could talk.
Hi, husband. I was getting something out of this box.
Okay.
Oh my god. Since it's off screen for me, person, I'm trying to get something out of this.
Yeah, don't make any box jokes. It's unnecessary.
Why? I'm just gonna make her blush again.
Yeah. So, what were we talking about? Filipinos being racist, right? Yeah.
Well, yeah, no. So, like, I dealt with that.
Did you make any more noise, wife?
I love this. It would only make it better if she flipped you off, but you wouldn't react. You wouldn't give a shit.
She just did. She didn't hear you.
Yay!
She just said, I have headphones on. I have headphones on, so she didn't hear you say that, and she just let me off.
I love your wife so much.
Anyway, moving on.
Your whole family. I'm glad that we know each other.
So, you want to hear a good one? The other night, fucking what a fucking asshole. My son comes upstairs, right? And I'm sitting. Yeah. I forget what I was doing. I think I was. I had gotten a new humidifier, so I was putting the humidifier and setting it up. And he comes over, and I'm sitting on the floor in a t-shirt, and he just goes, "Hey, Dad, you're kind of fat." I was so mad. I was like, "What?" It's like, you're old enough to know that that's mean. You little
just
jerk.
Catch you right off guard and hurt your feelings.
You little jerk. It's like, you're not 3. You're 6. You're old enough. You know that's not nice.
I was talking about wanting to lose weight, and my daughter, in her sassy little way, went, "You really should." And my son, no. My son was like, "No, I love your fat belly," and he puts his finger in my belly button.
You told me that, dude. Like, I have lost 23 pounds. And I still feel like a fat fuck. I'm like, what is happening?
Because you're old. Being old makes you stay fat longer.
Why do I still look like this? I should look better. My face feels a little slimmer.
You probably aren't. I will judge you when I see you next.
You're probably right. Maybe, but I'm just like, I'm looking at myself in the mirror last night and I'm just like, why? Why?
Body dysmorphia.
All this work for nothing. Work. I say work. I just like.
You just
shit.
You know what? That is a lot of work. That's a lot of willpower.
You know what? It is. It is willpower. That's true. It does take a lot of. Speaking of wife, I went. My son wanted Prime very badly. He's just got obsessed with Prime because he watches YouTube videos.
Oh, the drink?
Yeah. So
I don't support it.
Oh, I don't either. But he's asked so many times. I finally decided to get him a Prime as a treat. So he went and I bought myself a green apple Gatorade. I haven't had a Gatorade in 2.5 months. And my wife was like, "Oh, you got a Gatorade?" I was like, "Yeah." She said, "Oh, I thought you weren't drinking that anymore." And I was like, This is one in 2.5 months. Give myself a
It's like you're drinking
treat.
alcohol again.
Yeah,
Like,
all I've been drinking for the last freaking
Water.
2 months is water and seltzer. I wanted a little flavor for once. Jesus Christ.
No. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, no, it's not fair. Not cool.
I hope your son hated it. I hope
He did. Oh, you know what? I tried it. You know what it tastes like? It tastes like dog
fucking
piss.
medicine.
Dog piss with some. He got the ice pop one. It tasted like dog piss that they put some snow cone flavoring in. It's terrible. It's fucking awful.
My daughter has been begging me over and over again, and I told her flat out, I'm not supporting it.
Tell her
you somehow get it. If you somehow get it on your own, I think it's gross. But if you somehow get it on your own,
fucking dog, then
you can have it. But I'm not supporting it because the people who made it are terrible fucking people, and I just can't.
They are.
I can't.
And
it helps them directly.
It tastes like dog piss. It's awful.
It's not like
I'm not exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. It's fucking terrible. It is.
For me, it's
awful.
not even like a J.K. Rowling Hogwarts kind of thing.
My wife,
like, this guy scams his audience.
Oh yeah,
directly.
Yeah. Oh fuck him. Fuck him. Absolutely. My wife tried it too, and she's like, "Oh, that's bad." And she's like, "Oh, and it's got an aftertaste of worse." And it does.
I've heard it's bad. I've heard it's bad.
It's awful. I don't know why anybody would buy it.
The bottle's unappealing looking to me.
And it's smaller. It's a smaller amount of liquid than like a Gatorade would be. I don't know why anybody would fucking buy it. It's terrible. It's terrible.
It's brand.
It's all brand marketing. That's the only reason. Because it tastes like cat piss or dog piss. It's fucking awful. If you've never tried it, don't try it. You will regret it. You will regret spending $3 on a little fucking bottle of dog piss. Anyway, something I wanted to mention. I just read. You know how much I love finding books that, you know what? I always say this, like, because it's so easy to find liberal literature that I think is well written, and I have a hard time finding conservative literature that is well written and not even well written, just logical, gets their point across fairly, it has lack of bias. Yeah. I just finished a book, and I don't want to say it's a contrary opinion because it's actually something I very much believe in. It's a book called The Coddling of the American Mind, How Good Intentions and Bad Ideas Are Setting Up a Generation for Failure. It's actually an old book. It's from 2018 by Jonathan Haidt and Greg Lukianoff. It was so good. Such a good book. Okay. It primarily deals with cancel culture and woke culture and presents an incredibly good argument of how it's actually failing us. It's not that it's like, oh, fuck people, people should be allowed to say what they want, cancel. It's not that. It's here's the effect it is having on our society after the fact.
It's my thing is it's bad on both ends.
Sure, absolutely.
Like, and they're all extreme and they're coming closer and closer together, and it's fucking terrifying for anybody who sees the fucking tsunami coming.
Yeah, it's and this is 2018, so we're 5 years at least out. But a lot of discussion of college campuses and teachers being ousted from their jobs for very benign, completely non-controversial comments, not being able to, in a scientific and philosophical setting, bring up arguments or debates, not that they necessarily even agree with, just bringing the topic up. Like,
bringing it up.
Let's talk about this.
Even talking about it makes you a bad guy.
But literally getting mobbed, getting death threats, having people attack them, having people call for the resignation to the point where
why the fuck are we okay? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
You saying that? Why the fuck are we okay and we treat it like just part of the internet? Death threats.
I don't know. Doxing and death threats both are.
We're just fucking okay with that, right? Like, why?
Makes no sense. I
like we say it's wrong, we say it's bad, but nothing really gets done about it, and it's just a thing that happens. No, they're like, oh, if you're a video game person and you take away a character, you nerf them, you get death threats. It's just the way it is. Why?
You know how many people when I've again going back to fucking hockey, where I've played hockey online. And again, I chirp sometimes. I'm usually not too bad, but sometimes I'll chirp and be like, oh, how do you like that goal? Something like that.
Talking shit is different.
But having somebody come back and say, I'm going to fucking find where you live and kill your family. You know how many times this happened to me? And I've contacted Sony and said, yes, somebody threatened to kill me. I wanted to report their username. And they tell me, Well, you have to go report it through the console. I can't do that in the console. It only lets you do it if it's a message they send you. Well, you can
Yeah.
report their profile. It won't. I can't find their profile because their privacy settings make it so they're not
Like we're just
visible.
okay with it.
Well, yeah. Well, you can call the police if you're really worried. They're just okay with it. It's okay. It's okay for people to threaten to kill your family over a voice chat because of a fucking video game.
Oh my god.
I don't know why my dog's going crazy. I apologize to everybody listening to this, but you're gonna have to deal with my dog apparently barking at every fucking thing. So a plastic bag must be floating around somewhere. But yeah, it was a great book, and it had a lot about young kids too, and just raising young kids and letting them face adversity and letting them work out problems for themselves, and not always coming to their aid, not always jumping to their defense, and and a lot of it really resonated with me in the fact that I'm like, man, yeah, I really do this. It really made me think about the way I parent and how things that I should probably do differently. And it actually, it was again, I don't know, she's going to listen to this. Maybe she'll get mad at me. My daughter was mouthing off about a week ago. She was mouthing off bad. And my wife was disciplining her. And I have a very bad tendency. She's going to yell because she's going to say, I won't talk to her about it, but I'll talk about it on the podcast. But I did talk to her about it. So hopefully she doesn't. But I went, as I always do, I feel the need to intervene. I feel like I need to get involved. And I thought about it, and I think a lot of it is
I think it's a major couple problem.
It is. I think for me, it's about bringing down the tension and diffusing the situation so that it doesn't end up something worse. And my wife said, I got this. And usually I don't listen. I keep myself involved. And you know what? I went, you know what? Okay. And I walked out of the room and I left. And I let her, and I listened, and I'm hearing things. I'm like, things that, way she's going about it that maybe I wouldn't do or I would do differently. And I just left it alone. And I left it alone. And you know what? At the end, everything worked out. And I said to her, I said, you know what? I always feel the need to intervene and interject myself into every situation and not let you just deal with something if you're dealing with it. And I really learned a lesson tonight. You did everything yourself and it worked out just fine. I didn't need to feel like it was going to be this bomb I had to defuse or this. I was completely wrong. And then I literally read this book later where it was like, don't call it, like, let them deal with adversity. Don't make them feel like, and I was like, that's exactly along the lines of this, what I just did. Well, and the lesson I just learned. It was that night I'm reading it. And I told my wife the next day, I was like, dude, I learned so much last night about how I should parent differently. I don't think I'm a bad parent necessarily at all.
No, it's just the anxiety of listening to your spouse and your child.
Sure.
And the fact of different personalities, you both are going to deal with situations different.
Absolutely.
My wife and I are working on that at the same time. Like, that is a major thing.
Sure.
Like,
I think that's
kids,
all parents, right?
Like,
but
only thing we interject is when we recognize that the other one is like a little upset.
Sure.
And we're just like, don't argue.
Right.
I've gotten to the point, those are only 2 words I say. I don't add myself in. I don't even walk into the room. And if I don't have to say it out loud, I'll text it.
That's smart. That's a really smart way to do it.
Don't argue.
But it was just like such an eye-opening thing for me to go, like, I don't have to be in control of every situation. I can just let this go and let her deal with it. I don't have to, because part of it's like, well, I don't want my daughter's feelings to get hurt. I don't want her to get down on herself. And it was like, her point was like, maybe sometimes she needs to feel bad about it.
Yeah.
And then the book really was reiterating that. And it's just like, holy shit. I mean, I really got a big fucking lesson in my head tonight.
Yeah. I have to learn that with my son because he's super sensitive. And I remember when I was a super sensitive little kid.
Well, and that's with my son, I'm different. I parent them both very differently. And I recognize that and acknowledge that. And I've gotten a lot closer to the middle for both of them, but there's still a gap there. But anyway, it's a great book. It was a great book. I recommend it to anyone looking for something to read.
That's a good recommendation. Last thing with my internet escapades, on YouTube specifically again.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I watched a video about some guy talking about Kevin Sorbo and his interview with God's Not Dead. Because I actually find Kevin Sorbo's religious adventures super amusing.
Oh,
because
he's amusing.
He is just such a a dipshit.
Yeah,
His opinions are really
I can't think
doofy.
of a better word.
Yeah. His opinions are so doofy, and he's so proud of like the dumb shit he says.
Absolutely.
That
That's the best.
I find amusement out of it.
Well, it's one of the best things in the world is somebody who is proud of their stupidity. Just doesn't
so
know
proud.
It. They just say the dumbest shit, and they're like I said that. I smart.
Yeah, like
I
don't
smart.
think
I make
genius.
word good.
I don't think myself a genius at all, but I'm smart enough to listen and maybe like think about something.
Sure.
And it just gets to me when somebody like I have to learn that there are some people who are just so stupid that they don't know how stupid they are. Like
yes.
I have
that
to.
Is a
like,
very real phenomenon.
It's the hardest thing for me. And so I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to summarize it, but he mentions like, he knows atheists are going to feel attacked. I'm not atheist, so I don't give a shit.
I am,
but
so let's
I got
go.
offended. He goes, I feel like atheists are going to be attacked by this movie. And
wait, which movie now?
God's Not Dead.
Oh, okay, all right, I've heard of it.
I've seen God's Not Dead, and the movie is literally a blatant, outright attack on atheism.
Why?
Like, Kevin Sorbo plays a an atheist professor who hates God because he killed his family. But you don't find that out until the end of the movie.
Okay,
he torments this Christian kid.
So that's not that's not atheism. If you hate God, you believe in God, you're not atheist.
That's what I'm saying. But but a lot of theists believe that atheists are actually just theists who who hate God or don't want to believe in God so they can do whatever they want.
No, I don't hate God. I just don't think he exists. Period.
Yeah, I don't. It's just like the evidence isn't sufficient enough for me to believe that God exists. Because if God could do everything, why doesn't God make his discovery easy?
Well, that's my case. I have zero evidence that God exists, and I have anecdotal evidence that he does not exist.
He does. Then there's my favorite one is like, okay, so God's capable of doing this, and free will is apparently the thing that God, like the rule God put up for himself, so he can't control our lives. Why still not make himself obvious so then we can have the free will to follow him or not? Because you're following him so you don't go to hell. That's disingenuous as fuck. But
sure.
So as I'm going through, like, I made a comment, obviously because that's what I was reading, that they made atheists seem like they're weak-willed, stubborn, pathetic, and lost. Other people went on.
That's not my experience with atheists at all.
Yeah.
Again,
I mean, I know a lot of atheists who are arrogant as shit.
Oh, that's very, very, very common and drives me fucking crazy. It just seems like
an arrogant person who is atheist.
But I mean, the argument that atheists just want an excuse to do whatever they want is complete. I'd argue the complete opposite. The fact that you need a set of rules to tell you how to behave as a human being is fucking sad. Scary. Yeah, that's not good. Anyway,
some other person says the movie is an attack on Christians too. Hilariously, Sorbo's angry theist professor is a complete jerk who has spent decades lashing out at everyone around him because if God is real, his mother really was murdered by their deity. Dude, the Christian apologist kid is a smug and not very good at making his arguments, and the movie ends with a bunch of Christians laughing and celebrating after a guy gets hit by a car. Kevin Sorbo's character, gets hit by a car after discovering he was wrong.
And they are happy about it. How Christian of them.
No, hold on. The main character, who wasn't the Christian kid, but like the guy who directed or wrote the film, the meme, the Jesus man.
Yes.
Have you know that meme? Yeah. That guy. He owns Pureflix, and he's in the movie. He's the one that made the movie. And him and this I think he's Jamaican or African guy are standing over him, and they have him profess and like save his sins and like take God as his Lord and Savior right before he dies, as he had his fucking chest caved in by the hood of a taxi or some shit. And like, yeah, he's gonna take God. I can say all the shit that I'm saying right now that I don't believe in God, blah blah blah. If I'm dying and I'm terrified that I am fucking dying, I'll say anything. I will say fucking anything. I believe I would, because I've been in a situation where I thought I was gonna fucking die.
All right.
I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, to your point.
I'm scared. I'm not speaking out of my intelligence. I'm speaking out of my lizard brain. I am terrified.
To your point, I have never been in an immediate I think I'm going to die moment, but I genuinely don't think I'm going to feel that way. I really don't.
I feel like it's the same knee-jerk reaction as like somebody crying for their mom when they're dying.
Oh, thanks
it's that
for
same
bringing back
reaction.
Images of George Floyd. Fuck.
I mean, it's a terrifying thing, and he's not the only one who's done that.
No, I know. It's God, I don't even want to think about it.
And we think that's like people think that that's silly, like, you know, when somebody's scared enough to do that. But when you're scared,
it's not silly at all. It's not silly at all. That to me is a sign of true terror. I mean, that's not silly at all.
And that I feel like is the equivalent of being that kind of like people who are on their deathbed taking like who have never been Christian their entire life. You know what? Perfect fuck example. Little Richard. He got old.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he's super religious. He went his whole life, but then he's in his twilight years now. He's scared.
Yeah, and I mean that's a reasonable fear, and sure, that's definitely a way to cope with that fear. I get it. I understand it. I just don't think I don't know. I feel like I won't get there.
So,
but you know what?
I agree with that person. That is an attack on everybody.
Fuck this shit with attack on Christians. Fuck you. There's a billion of you motherfuckers out there. Atheists are like 10% of the population, if that. Fuck you. Go fuck yourself.
Okay, you could feel that way. The way I feel about it is that there's a big subset of the Christian faith, you know, the ones that really want to blindly believe, or well, most religions, I feel like anyway, or large religions, they have this kind of aristocracy mindset when it comes to their religion. It was just like, I agree. Well, where are the saved ones? And we have to reach down to the littles to make sure that they stay in line. Like they all have that kind of mindset.
You. No one's bothering you. Go eat your fucking crackers and kneel on the ground and do whatever bullshit you want. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody's stopping you from doing it. Fuck you.
Absolutely. Oh, also, fuck you, Chris Pratt. I defended you when you played Mario. I fucking defended you.
Uh-oh.
But how the fuck dare you...
I know he's done a lot of dumb shit.
How fucking dare you play Garfield?
Wait, what?
There's a new Garfield movie coming out.
Why?
And Chris Pratt, speaking of Christians, is playing Garfield. Fuck you for playing Garfield.
Why two times?
He is just Chris Pratt. He is just Chris Pratt this time. He's not trying a goddamn thing.
Bill Murray's still alive. Why isn't he doing it? Oh, right, because nobody gives a shit about a Garfield movie.
Because, yeah, that's probably the main thing. I know, get your bag, but you know what? People are like proud of people trying to get their money. Fucking, I'll reverse what I just said about the get your bag thing. Fuck that. Fuck. There's a million. Why Chris Pratt?
You having a seizure?
I think I just had a minor aneurysm, or maybe a stroke.
I don't know. Fuck Chris Pratt. He's in fucking everything now, and he's annoying because he's the same fucking character, plays himself and everything. Look. Here's the deal. Bruce Willis plays himself in everything, but it didn't matter because every movie he was in was just he's blowing shit up, and it didn't matter. Chris Pratt wants to go and play these roles,
quip, and then keeps going.
Yeah, Chris Pratt's trying to play these like actual roles that are supposed to have some deep and dramatic influence to him, and he's just playing him fucking self.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't.
Speaking of Star-Lord,
deep and dramatic influence, but
I'm not. Clearly, I don't mean that. That's just they're paying him $10 million, and people are gonna go see it because his dumb ass is in it. Speaking of Star-Lord, I finally watched Guardians 3. Finally watched it.
Oh, what did you think?
Worst of the trilogy.
Really?
Not bad, but not great. I found it to be...
the second one is the worst of the trilogy.
I found it to be... First off, I hated the fact... I don't know why we're spending time on... Yeah, who cares? Whatever. Fuck you. It's our podcast. First off, it was literally just a fetch quest the entire fucking movie. That's what the whole fucking movie was. Uh-oh, all right. Rocket just got fucked up, so now we got to go get the thing to save him. That's the whole fucking movie. It could have been a side quest in a video game.
Was Rocket story.
Yes.
I feel like
also,
it was the most of the movie was the flashback.
Sure. So that was the other thing that bothered me. Interspersing these little minute flashbacks throughout the movie. Give me his whole fucking backstory in one chunk. Get it done. Actually allow me to feel when the bad shit, I don't want to spoil anything, but when his bad shit starts to happen to him, because they interspersed throughout the movie, 20 minutes after the initial thing, I'm not really thinking about it anymore. And then when bad stuff happens, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm not really connected to these characters right now because they haven't been on screen for 25 minutes. Put it all in one chunk so I could feel. First 10 minutes of Up, saddest fucking thing ever put in a movie. Most horrifically sad cinema ever, because they put it in one big 10-minute chunk and that's all you needed, and they made you feel the most emotion I've ever felt in a movie. Take that, whatever, 30 minutes of shit they did, condense it down to 15 minutes, put it at the beginning of the movie so we know his back, or right after he gets shot or whatever.
Yeah.
Put that in there, give me all that backstory there so I feel. And then now the rest of the movie, I got something I'm working on.
You know what?
I think they totally fucked that up.
You have a really good point. Really good point.
Yeah, I think they completely fucked that up. And again, the rest of the movie was just a fucking fetch quest. That was the whole movie.
I mean, I feel like it's really stupid. I feel like the second and the third movie, the first one was the best one. Let's just be real. Even though every Guardians movie is a fetch quest, if you really think about it, the first one they had to get the MacGuffin. that was their whole movie.
All right, fine.
From a villain him being bland. I'm glad they put it. They made it funny towards the end. Ronan, when he was dancing, he was like, "What the fuck what are you doing?"
That was great.
Like, that was funny.
That's fantastic.
But Ronan was boring the entire time through that.
Wait, 2 wasn't a fetch quest.
2 was a family thing that redid the thing, but I'm talking about
maybe it was Fetch My Dad.
Between Gamora and Nebula.
Nebula, yeah.
It was between those two because the movie was mostly them. We want to talk about Chris Pratt's character about Star-Lord with his dad, but Ego really wasn't. He was the backdrop, literally.
Sure. Yeah.
But
definitely.
Like he was like the very beginning and the very end. The rest of it was like Gamora and Nebula's kind of shit going on.
Okay, sure. All right. Here's my counter argument. We had stakes in the first 2 movies.
Yes.
Right? Big stakes.
Hold on. Well, okay. There will no longer be stakes. There are no stakes after Endgame. Let's just be in any Marvel movie.
Well, what I'm trying to say is there was setup. There was
Yes.
There were stakes. This movie's just like, hey, in the first 5 minutes, we're going to have Rocket get shot, and now we got to fix that.
See, okay. My counter argument is that
I'm going to lose track.
The third movie is a wind down from everything that built up.
Well, it had
because
to be.
Guardians were directly tied to the Infinity War,
sure,
and Endgame. They are
James
the Guardians
Gunn's gone,
of the Galaxy,
right? James Gunn's gone
and
to
so
DC
they needed
now.
to wind it all down. They wanted to they had to establish that that there will be a future for the Guardians.
Yep,
with Rocket and his new Guardian group.
Sure.
And make Rocket the fucking leader that he was in the comics for a while. I'm sorry, that was when I got interested in Guardians in the comics. Rocket was the leader at the time.
Sure.
They had to finally bring in Adam Warlock, who should have been in way earlier.
No, and that's another problem I had with the movie. He was piecemealed into the movie. It's like they were like, we hired him and we were going to put him in the movie, but we're not sure what to do with him, so we're just going to kind of
because he was supposed to be there for they were put. You know what?
Well, they teased him.
Like they teased him in.
They teased him at the end of the second movie.
Yes,
so they didn't have
I
a
feel
choice.
like they didn't put him in because he was supposed to be in for Endgame and Infinity War, but they hitched their bets so much on a character that was similar, Captain Marvel.
Oh, let's not get into that. I don't want to start a whole
No. I wasn't getting to her. I'm saying that she's a similar character.
Sure, I agree.
In power scaling specifically.
Well, she was supposed to be the new Iron Man, essentially.
And it didn't work out. And so they just kept him in the background until this third movie.
Yep.
And because they already set it up.
They made him a bitch.
And I kind of liked him being a dumb baby.
I liked it, but they made him a bitch.
But he was a bitch.
Yeah.
They had this Terminator subplot for a while.
I will agree with you. I think they did a very nice job with almost all of the character arcs and bringing them full circle and wrapping them up and making everything seem finalized. I don't like Star-Lord walking into his grandfather's house. His grandfather's like, Peter! I haven't seen you since you were fucking 8 years old, but I recognize you.
You don't have a mullet. You're tall.
Go fuck yourself.
Who the fuck are you?
Yourself. He would not have recognized him.
And what does that smell? Because he smells like something. We don't know what the fuck he smells like.
Absolutely.
All that alien puss, he definitely smells like something.
Alien puss, whatever that smells like. Probably the same as... No, never mind. Anyway, I I didn't want to get too far into that movie. I just wanted to mention since we brought it
I'm
came
sorry,
up
no,
that
it's just
I had
did
finally
watch it.
watched it.
Well,
Yeah.
I watched I finally watched God, not Renfield,
Oh, I haven't watched that
which
yet.
was
It's
it's
on my
on
list.
Amazon Prime.
Yeah, definitely
And
gonna watch it.
I feel like people weren't giving that movie enough credit. It was fun. It felt like a comic book.
There's no way
It
it
was
can't be
fun.
good. It looks
It
great.
was so fucking fun.
I'm looking
The guy
forward to
that plays
watching
Renfield, I can't think of the actor's name. But he's played Beast in the X-Men movies.
that. Yeah. Oh my God, what is his name?
Oh,
I can't remember his name
he was
either. I
just
feel
he was
terrible.
just announced as Lex Luthor, or at least that he's in talks playing Lex Luthor.
I can't remember. Yeah.
I think that would be really good.
Yeah.
Let me see, because I want to say his name now.
He's good. Yeah, I like that guy.
Like
He's good.
I liked him in everything. I didn't realize that he was the main character in like Warm Bodies. I didn't notice that was the same guy.
No, me neither. He's one of those guys you don't notice.
Until
like American Horror Story, since I've been going through the seasons and I'm in like I don't know, first few episodes of season 3. Some of these actors, I'm like, I have seen these actors in fucking everything.
Nicholas Hoult. Sorry.
Nicholas Hoult. There you go.
Nicholas Hoult.
Yeah, he's good. He's good. I'm looking forward to watching
it.
Maybe I'll get to it this weekend. That would be nice.
Okay. Before we move on from Marvel movies, The Marvels came out. Did not see it because I haven't seen it. But I saw the ending scene, the post credit scene.
I vaguely, I kind of got a little bit of a spoiler on that. I didn't see the whole thing.
Okay, I will say spoilers right here. Unless
I'm not gonna.
I'm going to say spoilers right here for anybody who gives a shit.
Doesn't bother me in this case. So go ahead.
But Monica Rambeau at the end of the movie, so they could set the magic straight, they kicked the black girl into another dimension. So now, and
get your black ass out of here.
And she's in a universe where,
Beast,
her mom is
right?
still alive, but is not her mom. And they show Beast, played by Kelsey Grammer. At least he's
CGI'd, right?
Beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a mocap Beast.
Right.
And it was kind of good to see classic looking Beast.
Yeah.
Even though it still looked really wonky because their CG just went down the fucking tubes.
Well, I mean, as far as I know, the Marvels was everything I've heard about the Marvels was they really did not want to make it. And the studio was like, you have to make it. We've already signed Brie Larson on because everybody decided they don't like her. And they're like, we don't want to make another movie with her. I don't want to get into it. But anyway, so from what I heard,
contract and now she's gone.
Yeah, they really half-assed the movie because they just had to get it done.
Yeah, well, we have Miss Marvel now. I actually like the actress.
Miss Marvel's great. The actress is she's so cute, and I don't mean that in a sexualized way. I mean, she's just way. She's just a cute girl. She's so cute.
She plays Kamala Khan.
I want to squeeze her cheeks
really well, and her comedic timing is on point.
Yeah, she's great. She's fantastic.
She made me forget how much I hate that they changed her powers.
I mean, I wasn't familiar enough to be worried about that.
She's stretchy.
I knew that. I really liked the Miss Marvel show. Yeah, I thought it was really good. And she's great. She's a great actress. She's definitely for an MCU that's losing actors pretty quickly now and not really refilling the roles with better good people. Because she's definitely one that's good to have.
Because the Kevin Feige thing needed to end at Endgame.
Shoulda.
And then they should have made it different.
Shoulda.
So I'm hoping that DCU with James Gunn,
dude, it's getting
their shit up now.
It's so confusing now to keep track of everything that's going on and which is which. And now they're bringing in the Sony stuff, and they've already brought in the Spider-Man universe. I saw a thing the other day that apparently there's this rumor that the Sony cinematic Spider-Man universe is going to be merged with the MCU. I'm like, they already fucking are. Spider-Man's in both. Yeah. They already are.
They are fucking already merged.
Who's talking? Why is that a thing? They already are.
Spider-Man, only in Spider-Man movies is he related to the Marvel universe, but like Venom doesn't exist and Mobius doesn't exist.
Sure, they haven't been brought into the MCU, but they're still connected.
But now they're doing the Madam Web movie, which the trailer had just come out. Right. And I'm sorry, the movie. Okay, so the movie looks like it'll be.
Okay, who's the lead?
Madam Web, like the actress?
Yeah, do you know
her name?
Okay, because I was trying to remember.
I vaguely recognize her.
Yeah, I saw her and was like, oh, I know who that is, and I couldn't figure it out. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I vaguely recognize her, but she, but it's like a Terminator-esque thing. mixed with the not time travel, the reality warping. I'm like, are they going to use this movie? Because my biggest problem is it feels like a CW like show. With the the acting feels very CW.
I thought it was when I saw the trailer. I didn't know it was a movie. I thought it was a
show. A movie. It looks very low effort.
I'm just so sick of all of this intertwined different time, going through time. Like I finished Loki season 2, going back and forth through time, all these universes. It feels there's no stakes anymore, as we were talking about earlier. There's just none. Nothing fucking matters anymore.
You made the limit too big.
Yeah, you've like now made it literal infinite. There's infinite possibilities and infinite characters. Nobody's ever really going to be dead. No one's ever really going to be in any precarious situation because there's a fucking infinite number of them. So fuck.
And the thing is, it's just like comic books. They have a thing that they retcon. They do a big, massive event, and then it always ends in resetting the timeline,
which is
to
good.
Something.
I thought that's what they were going to do.
The movies could have fucking done that, but they didn't for some goddamn reason.
I don't know.
And so, another thing that people don't think about with comics: people who read comics never consecutively read comics. They have times that they read it, and then after a while, like 10 years, they stop reading comics, and then they come back.
Sure,
you can't do that with these fucking films.
No, because you'll have no idea what the fuck's going on.
So it's really, really bad.
Agreed. All right, one more really quick thing before our topic. I just wanted to mention, did you hear about, just a quick anecdotal thing. Did you hear about this comedian, Matt Rife, the controversy over him? Okay, so this comedian, Matt Rife, just put out a special on Netflix. So I'm just going to read from an article. At the beginning of Rife's Natural Selection special, he tells a story about being in a ratchet Baltimore restaurant with a friend and noticing their female server has a black eye. They wonder why the restaurant wouldn't have a server work solely in the kitchen so that customers wouldn't see her black eye. He then jokes, yeah, but I feel like if she could cook, she wouldn't have that black eye. That's the joke, right?
Okay, so it's a misogyny joke.
He's getting
literally just a misogyny
He is
joke.
getting lit up over making fun of domestic violence.
I mean, I know we're men.
Sure,
but
it's a fucking joke.
Sure. Yeah,
it's a joke.
My wife is very not feminist, but independent, and she would find that funny.
Of course, most people would find that funny. Bill Burr did a joke probably 10 years ago now. One of his best bits is the one where he goes, they say there's never any reason you should hit a woman. Really though? Is there really?
I remember that joke.
He's got a whole bit. He's like, I can think of like 10 off the top of my head waking up drunk. He's got a whole bit, and it's great. It's great. So anyway, but that's not the catch. Fuck that. Fuck these people giving him shit about a joke. That is in itself.
I feel like most of them are bots at this point.
Probably. I don't even want to talk about that.
I can't believe
that. This is the good part. He posts a tweet and he writes, hey, I just wanted to post a link to my apology for anyone who was offended by my Netflix special. And when you click the link, it goes to a shopping site for special needs helmets.
Good on you.
Golf clap.
Matt Rife?
Yeah, golf clap for him for being like, go fuck yourself. Anyway, that's that. Let's get to our topic.
It's time to begin.
I know Matt Rife. I follow him.
Complaining.
This dude's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, he it's just great. Our topic for today, and boy, we've already recorded a long time, and I don't know how much longer we're going to go, is political tailgaters. That's the term we came up with, and we've alluded and talked kind of about this in the past, but we're talking about people who are so into and tribalized, I don't know what the word is, into their political party that they treat it like a fucking sports team. It's no longer I agree with most of it, because again, it's so fucking stupid that we have essentially two parties. We almost have four parties now, kind of. We're getting there. And that you have, every one of the 10,000 fucking things that you could have an opinion on, it has to, you align perfectly with one or the other.
Yes.
But these people that are so into their political parties that they treat it like it's a sports team. And we kind of talked about it earlier, where I was talking about Tim Pool and Sam Cedar and these people saying like, we won, we're winning this.
They're waving their goddamn flags.
Waving their fucking flags. So this happens to coincide. I watched a documentary called The Insurrectionist Next Door. Did I mention that, or did we talk about that at all?
No.
So full disclosure.
Oh, wait.
Alexandra Pelosi is the one that created and directed it. It was Nancy Pelosi's daughter. So clearly she's got a bias, but it doesn't really I mean, it reflects in the film what she's saying to the people, but it's not a look at these fucking idiots, but documentary. But essentially, what she does is she goes to there's I don't know maybe half a dozen to 10 different individuals who have been charged with some crime related to the insurrection, and she goes and meets with them and talks to them and just has a conversation. She's not fighting with them, she's not arguing, she's just asking questions. They're both very civil throughout, and talks to these people. And they will acknowledge that they did something stupid. They will acknowledge that they made a mistake. They lost their mind. It was a mob mentality. They were listening to Trump, and they were listening to what all these people were saying and just going with the flow. And they regret it, and it was stupid. And they're going to spend 10 months in jail for this. But they still totally support Donald Trump. They still love him. He's still their president.
Yeah.
And she's like,
it was their sacrifice.
That's
it was
the way
their
they see it.
sacrifice.
They see it as a martyrdom. And she's like, but you're going to jail and you acknowledge that what you did was stupid. You said you regret it. It's not like you're like, I'm glad I did this. You're acknowledging that it was dumb. Go ahead.
My question is, did they say that it was wrong? They can say it was dumb because it was dumb.
No,
okay, so they are saying that they did was wrong.
A couple of them were. I think there was one or maybe two that were like, no, it was the right thing to do. I regret it now, but it was right. But most of them were like, no, it was stupid. Like, I don't know why I did that. It was the wrong thing to do. I should not have done it. It was a mob mentality. Everybody else was going, and I was just felt I'm supposed to follow this path. There was one guy who she's throughout the documentary, she talks to on the phone because he's in prison, and he is essentially saying he assaulted police officers, and he's saying, I can't believe I fucking did this. And I'm now seeing the people out there that are still saying like, this was an okay thing that happened and we should have done this. And he's like, I recognize now how brainwashed I were and how I was just full blown on the team and how crazy that was that I went that far. I never would have thought I'd be a person that would do those things. So like that's like a really extreme example, but the left does it too. I mean, it's no different. Yes. And especially now with these Hamas things, Israel and Hamas things going on, you see it with them out there in the streets with their flags waving and pulling down posters, and we're winning, that we us versus them mentality. And it's just like, I remember a time where we'd be like, okay, here's our presidential candidates. Here's what they want to do. Here's what their policies are. Here's what their platforms are. And I feel like this one's platforms and policies make more sense to me. And that's not to say that there wasn't some, like Bill Clinton had charisma, right? People liked him. He went on Arsenio and played it was Arsenio, right? He went on Arsenio and played the saxophone, and people were like, he's cool. Of course, there was some of that. But nobody's waving a fucking flag with his name on their truck or on their front of their car. They're not wearing shirts with his name and hats with his name. It's insane. I don't.
You know what the funny crazy shit about that was? The same shit with Obama. We talked about Obama all the time. We had him for 8 years. Guess what we don't see? Now I know that you saw like the flag with him smiling on it. Like,
he had his hope poster, but that was campaign propaganda. It was not propaganda. I'm sorry, that's not the right term.
It is propaganda.
I don't want to.
It is
okay,
propaganda.
Fine. Political propaganda.
It's propaganda either way. But it's promotion. That's what you're looking for.
It's not waving your flag of pride.
But
you know,
I still don't go down the street seeing signs that like, always my president, Obama, or always my
of course not.
With more leftist people, like. The way I see it is a weird analogy I can think of is like two demons on a mountain. One's asking you to sacrifice your body. The other one's asking you to sacrifice your soul.
Sure. That's about
that's the one I'm trying like
about how you summarize it at this point. Yeah.
Because I don't trust either one of them, but some of them might have points I want to lean in towards. You don't have a choice.
Well, the problem is it's hard to trust any of them now because they've all had to buy into this new culture of campaigning, where it's not just go out and talk about what you want to do, talk about how you're going to change things, talk about how you're going to make life better. It's all just about going out there and being a caricature, being a character, being this like cartoon version of a human being.
And I wonder who are the ones that control that power. That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but I mean,
control that.
Just watching the Republican debates, it's you've got the couple that don't really say anything, but then you got Vivek, that's up there. That
Oh,
is
Vivek. All right.
it's Vivek. Believe me, people have been pointed out that it's racist to say Vivek. Which, come on, dude. Like, it's just
It's racist to mispronounce somebody's name if you don't know it.
well, you know what's funny? I see leftist people say Vivek, and then they get corrected. It's actually Vivek, and they're like, oh, whatever. But those are the same people that when somebody said Kamala instead of Kamala would freak the fuck out. You know, so fuck off. Like, fuck you. People could nobody.
Yeah, no,
It's I've known a lot. I've known quite a few
how
Viveks.
are you so unaware that you're that much of a dickhead?
I've known quite a few people with that name spelled that way, and it's always been pronounced Vivek. The folks that I have known with that name. So Vivek is definitely an outside pronunciation, but it doesn't matter. Who fucking cares? But you see him up there, and he's like this little fucking goon. He looks like Beavis up there and talking with his weirdness and blah blah. He's like a cartoon character.
Yeah, he's like, and they're just taking up their time in the spotlight, fucking everything up for everyone else who really wants to help.
It's just,
if there are people out there that want to help,
it's so difficult to watch. It's so difficult to deal with. I mean, the left doesn't have anybody running in any sort of capacity in a traditional capacity, so there's no caricatures to make fun of there. That's why I'm picking on the Republican debate, but it's not any different, really. I mean, you could look at the left, and there's these people who are just as out there and weird and
twisted and fucked up.
I mean, AOC is to a degree a character. You know,
she was sitting playing Among Us with people.
Yeah,
just to get
she does the same bullshit pandering too.
That was
maybe she doesn't come across as a complete fool when she does it, but she's doing it too.
But the thing is, again, is the tailgaters are the people who are being pandered to.
Sure.
How do they hold so much fucking power?
I don't I don't know.
That's why I don't have hope in the average person.
I don't know how. I mean, I guess it all started with Trump, but I don't know how we turned well, maybe not. I don't know the point at which we took politics and turned it into a fucking athletic competition. Well, not athletic, you know what I mean? Into a competition instead of an election. It's just competition now. It's like watching fucking Dancing with the Stars. I don't.
Reality TV fucked us all.
Yeah, I mean it did. Reality TV and social platforms.
Because the next level is that all politicians are going to be cam girls.
At least we'd have something to look at, you know, when they're talking.
It's going to be political cam
girls. They could have garbage
just
coming out of their mouth, but you know, at least be nice to look at. That would be the only. Is that sexist? Probably a little bit. I don't care. I don't give a fuck.
They'll all be sitting in. I'm selling my bathwater. Like this, you're just all gonna be doing that shit.
Come on, help me get elected. Buy my urine, 25 cents. Well, that's not $25 a bottle.
Look, it's amazing. If you get I will give you a free OnlyFans. All you have to do is go to my website. Like, I can't do a Trump, but my point is.
Oh, that was supposed to be Trump. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I'm terrible at.
Look,
I haven't
got
spoken to a human being.
All you gotta do is go to my OnlyFans. You go there, all right. It's gonna be great. You're gonna go. You're gonna get real good stuff. All right, sorry, that was not that great.
But no, any politician, like, what was it? There's but I just don't understand. Like, I used to separate it that way and call us, we're idiots. We're just idiots in the pond here. But the people who like really buy into it, I get shocked by it's sort of like the movie They Live. Where you find out like they're all aliens around you.
Yeah.
Because like you be your best bud and all of a sudden you find out that they're like fucking just inundated in believing like this politician is like the fucking messiah.
Look at the merch. Like you can find merch now for Trump and I'm sure Biden too and other political candidates, like fucking
pro and anti.
Fucking
salt and anti.
Salt shakers and like shit you'd buy that used to have a Giants logo on it. Like, okay, that's a nice tchotchke.
Imagine going into a house with politicians' fucking face everywhere.
I know, it's so weird. Like it's a normal thing to go into somebody's house and they got, a little Santa Claus that's got a Jets hat on, right? But you go into one in a Santa in a Trump suit or some shit.
Like, I go to your bathroom
with
and you have like a Joe Biden towel.
Yeah, like what the
towel?
Why they literally have merch stores now. I get okay, fine. You want to have T-shirts or something? Fine. They have literal merch stores now with like dumb shit you can buy.
T-shirts are just a step too far. Regardless, anyway.
I 100% agree, and none of that was the case before 2016. No. We didn't see T-shirts for politicians before then. Because if you did, you'd be like, "What the fuck is?"
I blame
is he
the
wearing a
Obama
Bush
era
shirt?
for that. No, I definitely blame the Obama era
okay,
for that.
well-
because people were so happy and excited
So
about Obama, especially the left.
the Obama
And I don't
era
mean-
sparked it. It
Yes.
didn't. It
Okay.
didn't light it off, but it sparked it. It was that
Because
spark.
I saw a lot of kill Obama shirts. I saw a lot of
Yes.
hope Obama shirts.
Sure.
The marketing was crazy around that time.
That was the spark, but it wasn't at the level it is now, where you can, like I said, buy a fucking toilet paper holder with somebody's face on it. Like,
yeah.
it's at a whole different level now, where people literally flying flag. I've seen Biden flags. I've seen Trump flags. Literally flying on cars in front of people's houses instead of the fucking American flag.
And they're all, that's the scary part,
right?
That's the part that fucking bothers me.
And again, it goes back to that us
you call
versus
yourself
them.
a patriot, but you literally found this false idol past the country that you're supposed to be well, he's supposed to be helping the country. But that's the infallible thing. Are you fucking serious?
Yes. Yes, I'm serious. This is another great anecdote here. I don't know if you follow UFC or if you've seen this UFC story.
Not recently.
I watched the last UFC pay-per-view, and I'm like, Bill Burr was at Madison Square Garden on last Friday, and the Saturday they had the UFC pay-per-view at MSG. So I'm watching the UFC at MSG, and many camera shots right behind the fighter, you see Bill Burr's big old bald head. And I'm like, oh shit, Bill Burr's right there, right in the front. Ha ha, it's funny. And they always show Trump at these. I don't know why the UFC is now like Trump's like fucking thing.
Dana White.
Yeah.
Specifically Dana
you think
White.
that's what
No,
I guess that's all it is.
Money,
Trump's usually front and center at every one of them, and everybody's cheering him. The fighters will go up and like point to him and like, hey, Mr. President, hey.
It's indoctrination.
Anyway. I don't give a fuck about that. Whatever. It's your sport. It's your league. You can do what you want if you want Donald Trump there. But anyway, went viral that weekend. They showed a shot, and I missed it. I must not have been paying attention. They showed Donald Trump standing in the left of the frame, and to his left, to your right, watching TV, was Bill sitting with his wife, Nia. And Nia just shoots up a double middle finger at Trump. Boy, Bill Burr got fucking lit up online on Twitter by people. Control your fucking woman. Oh, his career is dead now.
Control your woman?
Yup. His career is dead now.
Fuck.
And
it's not. Absolutely not.
But these people going, how dare you? How could you do that? Are the same fucking people that have "Let's Go Brandon" fucking flags they're flying around, or just saying "fuck Biden" flags.
No. Oh, sorry. Calling Biden a molester, not having any proof.
Now, excuse me, but you're mad that she gave the middle finger behind his back to our former president, but you're okay with flying flags that mean "fuck Biden." Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you and your double standard hypocrisy.
That's
Go
exactly
fuck
what I'm
yourself.
saying. That's exactly what I'm fucking saying. Like, they're all from the same fucking group and yet you're getting so built up and offended over are you fucking serious?
Unbelievable. It blew my mind.
The amount of
And I'm so used to the hypocrisy and bullshit like that. It was a lot for my mind to literally be like, are you kidding me? People are really doing this?
Exactly. So this jackoff.
She's also black. I don't know if you know that his wife is black.
His wife is
so
black.
That obviously contributes to it too.
Like,
nice easy target for the fucking white supremacists that support Donald Trump.
This guy I thought was going to respond to me. I guess he didn't. But there's a guy, and he's probably part of this fucking group because I looked at his profile and he's just like, cars, and I'm an artist, and I do all this shit. But somebody put up this silly video of Dave Matthews dancing, and Dave Matthews dances like,
I can only imagine
like.
an old white guy.
His legs look like udon noodles.
I can picture this.
Like bend in all directions like Woody. He dances like Woody from Toy Story.
Woody? That's good. That's perfect.
And they were like, Dave Matthews has never made a song that, he should be dancing like this too. And they were playing a song that he obviously wasn't singing to.
Yeah.
I think the song was Satellite, which is like a soft song.
Yep, I know the song.
And I get the joke, but me being the weird autist I am, I'm like, he actually had a lot of his music has a lot of jazz and stuff in it.
Yeah.
There's a reason for him to dance like that.
Sure, absolutely.
But regardless, I got what the joke was. And so I'm looking through the comment section because I'm an idiot. And some woman overly, let's assume politically, if we want to do a political stand to this, that she's a leftist because she's like, I love Dave Matthews. He's made millions of songs.
I mean, if
that are
she
like
likes
this.
Dave Matthews, she's a leftist. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm gonna die on this hill, and people are kind of like bad take saying you're gonna die on a hill over like somebody you're not gonna that doesn't give a shit about you.
Yeah, it's usually a
Now,
bad idea.
And mind you, this is the guy who said it, the asshole's the one who said that, but he also made fun of her while saying it. So somebody says, oh, look at you bullying some girl who just, because she states that she likes Dave Matthews and thinks that the joke isn't funny.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, am I a bully now? Is the snowflake calling me a bully? He says snowflake without, like, just unironically, the snowflake calling me a bully. Did I get your fifis hurt? And then the people are arguing down the line. And then, like, but this guy was like, for like an hour, just hard replying to like anyone who called him out.
Well, come on.
And he's like, oh, am I triggering you? Are you triggered? I'm like,
hey,
you know,
listen,
every time you subsequent.
To be fair, it's lonely in his mom's basement. All right.
Yeah, right. I'm like, you know, every subsequent like reply, you not only are proving that you are triggered or like having your fifis hurt, but you are also making it blatantly obvious and using those buzzwords. And let me guess, you're a Trump fan, right? Like,
pretty obvious.
But my response, and I thought he was going to reply to me, was I tagged him and put a snowman.
That's good. You know what? I gave up on a long time ago any real comments.
I was looking for trouble. I was looking for trouble.
All I do now is eye roll emoji. That's all I put now.
Yeah,
that's it.
I actively was looking for trouble because I usually don't. I usually just try to leave funny comments.
Right.
But that one I was because he was
sometimes
just,
it's
like,
you
I
feel
went
the
in
need.
to make fun of. I went in to make fun of her.
Yeah.
I went to look at people make fun of her because I thought it was kind of pathetic. She proves how pathetic she was.
Yeah.
This is kind of a microcosm of my problem with like the left-right mentality.
Right.
But then the guy came in and he took all my attention straight to him. Because he's talking about his cars and trucks and stuff, but he has a privated profile, which is fine. I mean, I have a privated profile.
Have you ever seen the Buck Fiden truck that drives around in our area?
Yes, okay. I have.
So I don't know if we ever mentioned it on
my
podcast.
Dyslexia had me read it the other way around.
Yeah. There is this beat up piece of shit, like copper colored pickup truck that drives around our area with a big, like, wooden deer head on it.
Yeah,
and then
it looks like shit.
On the sides of the pickup bed, there are big wooden planks that say Buck Fiden on them, which I guess is why the deer head is there, because it's a buck, which, whatever. I've seen this car so many times parked. I finally saw it driving with the dude driving it the other day. Did I tell you that? So I finally saw, did I tell you that I finally saw him? The dude driving the car? Dude, he looked exactly like you would expect. He looked like he hadn't showered in 6 weeks and he had just come out of a meth lab explosion. It's exactly what he looked like. It was this old dude, just like his hair is all like ratty and back straight, and it was so funny. And I hate judging somebody on their appearance, but I saw him when, yup, he drives that car. That is definitely him. That is the guy.
So I'm starting to take mental health notes on people based on their political views.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, like, what kind of crazy are you?
Well, yeah. How
like,
crazy do you have to be to put in the effort to take plywood and set that shit up on your piece of shit pickup truck to drive around with a Buck Fiden sign?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Wash your ass and not smell like cigarettes?
Dude, I don't... Well, he was too busy doing that, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, just people, man. I honestly, like, I've been having real depressive episodes recently because I just can't understand. I actively can't understand people.
I have been there for a while myself. And I would say it's gotten a little worse lately. I just, anytime I go out anywhere, we went to Legoland for a Christmas thing they do. And I just had a hard time being around all these people. I thought it was just the anxiety of all the people, but it wasn't. It was just seeing all the people just doing blatantly just rude, just complete dumb, disregard things. Their kids not being controlled at all. Just people being assholes. Like we're sitting watching this little show, and my fucking kids that are 3 feet tall are sitting there, and this dude just walks and stands right in front of them, and I'm just like, just stuff like that. It's just like, what?
how do you not?
What happened to people's? I feel like people used to have common courtesy. I feel like I used to go in places and people would hold the door for me, and that was the normal thing to do. And now somebody does it, and I'm blown away. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much for that. And the fact that it stands out to me hurts. It hurts.
Yeah, I still have a habit of holding the door open for people.
I do for everyone. I always do.
You know, it's very nice, but nothing sets me off more, and I think I've maybe mentioned it before. But nothing sets me off more than holding the door open for somebody who acts like they just expected me to hold the door.
Oh God, that's the worst.
Like that just.
But you know what?
That makes me just. I get it erases every good time that I had somebody doing that.
It does make me bad, but when I reflect on it, I'm like, well, you know what? People should expect people to hold the door open for them. We should just expect that. That should just be the way society is.
But you know what? Also should be expected. Kindness back.
No, agreed.
Because it's a kindness.
Agreed.
You don't have to hold the door open.
There's a million examples. There's stopping and letting somebody go in their car and they don't wave. You know, when there's I see there's a line of traffic behind me and they're waiting to make a turn, and I'm like, I'm gonna stop here and let them turn, so they're not waiting for the 30 cars behind me. They don't acknowledge it, don't care, don't show any, like, stuff like that happens all the time. But it's just the way. I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. I don't know what's caused this. I don't know if it's the disconnect from other people because we spend so much time texting and on social media that we're just so disconnected from other people anymore that we've lost that humanity and that connection. I don't fucking know what it is. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's that obviously it has a lot to do with these teams that we're forming, and I think a lot of people assume that you're not on their team for one reason or another. I think a lot of people say me and assume I'm on the fucking red team all the way.
Yeah, I feel like anybody should be wary whenever anyone says our community or my community. Like, I use the word black community because it's the word. I'm not part of that. Because the black community is only an internet thing.
Yeah, I think it's funny when people say things like we need to use inclusive language, but then they use language that only includes their group.
Yeah, because communities are not inclusive. That literally is just the people who are in your general vicinity.
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
I don't give a shit. That's what that is. And I know they're like, well, no, it means like-minded people. Isn't that exclusive then?
Yeah.
If you're like-minded, that's exclusive.
Throwback to when I was talking just an hour or so ago about Tim Pool. I think it was Penn Jillette that first kind of turned me on to that thought process where when Trump was running, on his podcast early, he never would say Trump supporters. He would always say those of us that support Trump. And he specified, I don't like that disclusionary language that makes it sound us against them. I want it to feel like I'm talking about all of us. So those of us, that includes all of us that feel this way. So we're not excluding or including any particular group. We're saying that those that are part of us, humanity as a whole, that feel this certain way, we're all together. We're all one. Who have different opinions and feelings. We're all the same. We're not this tribe and that tribe. We're not this team and that team. We're not baking fucking bacon. We're not cooking fucking hamburgers outside the stadium for the Democratic National Convention.
Yeah.
So
I think I vaguely remember a day, somebody who was non-political going outside of like a hot political rally, and just hang out bottles of water.
Well, you can't do that now.
Yeah,
it's now against the law because it's considered a bribe.
Right?
No, it's literally. You can
be non-political.
Literally, that's a law.
Yeah, it's a bribe to keep you alive. Yeah.
It's hot day. Hot day. You're standing in a long line doing your due diligence, your duty as an American voting, and somebody's nice enough to be handing out bottles of water, but no, could be a bribe. So
political intrigue just supplant, which has always been true since the start of time, at least time for us, is political intrigue will always trump, human decency.
Yeah, that's just about the only way to put it. I don't know what else there's to say about that topic other than fuck. How do we fix it? We can't. It's an individual's responsibility to not indoctrinate themselves or marry themselves specifically to one idea. Yeah, try, regardless of which side you fall on.
Try actually being open-minded.
Try being open-minded. Try and listening to other people actively, not listening, like hearing.
Not listening to argue.
Yeah.
Not listening to argue. To find a way to argue with somebody. Like literally going, okay, now let me process that and see if that makes sense to me.
Speaking of, another book I just finished, Conspiracy by Michael Shermer, which was this isn't the important part. Just it was a book about conspiracy theories and why people believe them and how they come to believe them, how they come up, all kinds of stuff. But he's got an incredibly good section in that book that has, I think, 8 to 10 points on how to be better at not even debating, but having an argument or a debate with someone about something. And they are spot on points as far as how you can have a real conversation with somebody that you don't agree with and have it be productive. And not have it devolve. Definitely recommend that. But I guess all right, not much more to say there, right?
Nope. I'm just gonna end it with a meme before you say goodbye to everybody.
All right, you meme this shit.
You know you're getting old when friends with benefits means having someone who can drive at night.
Thanks for listening. Go check out our website. ATIWIHY.com. There you go. I'm gonna play the jingle there. ATIWIHY.com. Go check out scooppods.com. You can go find some more podcasts from like-minded individuals, meaning people who aren't complete fucking idiots. I don't know, maybe we're idiots. If you think we're idiots, then they're more idiots, I guess. But go check that out.
That's just 2 extra idiots on the internet.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a very happy Thanksgiving, because we're going to release this on Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And
enjoy.
Be safe. We love you.
Be gluttonous.
My favorite holiday, man. I can't wait to eat a bunch of fucking shit tomorrow. And we'll talk to you soon.
And take a bunch of shit too.
Oh yeah, you got to do that too.
Break some porcelain.
I played the one. It's in the actual outro. And when I just tried to sing the lyrics along with the preview in my earphones. Yeah, have a great Thanksgiving, guys. We